Hey everyone, I'm going to show you a couple of ways of how I use Mastery Connect in the classroom. So one thing that you need to make sure that you have done is set up your trackers. Christian Horner came around to each school, I believe, and helped the teachers in grades 3, 4, 5 set up their trackers in Canvas, so that could be a way to access Mastery Connect. So if you haven't done that yet, you are more than welcome to reach out to me or reach out to Christian Horner to help you do that with your classes. So one thing that I do is I use questions from Mastery Connect for my bell ringers. So what I do is I act like I'm making an assessment to access the questions, and so I'll choose math, my class, and then choose whether I want to do multi-standard or focus on one standard, and I pull up Question Bank, and I choose my questions, and then I snip those questions with the snipping tool. So if you have a snipping, or if you're able to use the snipping tool, I just choose the questions that I want. And then I actually have a weekly bell ringer. I'll show you what it looks like, where I have pulled questions straight from Mastery Connect. And what my students do is they come in each day and they do one problem, or they may work on the others, and on the back I have a math fact practice, but we review one question at the end of every block. So that's one way that I'm using Mastery Connect, and it's really only using the questions, so I'm not using the feature of the Mastery Tracker here. Then another way that I use it, and I actually have used it more in science so far, is that if I create, let me go back to my Canvas, sorry. If I go to my, back to my Canvas, and I go home, and then I click Mastery Tracker, so these are standards that I have assessed my students in using an assessment from Mastery Connect. So this week, I decided, since we're halfway to the next benchmark, I was going to give them a just sort of a check-in on the standards that was on the first benchmark, and just see where we are compared to the benchmark that they took back in October. So what I did was I went to Mastery Tracker, and I added an assessment, create new. Okay, so this screen looks very similar as if I was going straight through Mastery Connect. It already has 4th grade math because it's going to connect to that tracker. Multi-standard, so you can choose if you want to do focus on one standard or multiple standards. I'm actually going to scroll down and choose GA2 since we're working on classifying two-dimensional shapes. So you can title it whatever you want, classifying two-dimensional shapes, check in. Okay, and you can choose your assessment source. And in talking to Christian when creating assessments, he says a good rule of thumb that Michael has told him is to choose 5 questions per standard. That gives you, the knowledge of do they have a standard mastered, as if you only picked 1 or 2 questions, that doesn't give you an idea of how they are scoring. So then you can, again, I'm just going to go through here, do this. Let me go, I like to pick the printable ones, since that's what they'll see most on TCAP. Okay, so I am going to just choose 5 questions. Actually, just going to choose the first 5 here. I like that one too. Oh well, let's do 10. Let's do 10. Because they need practice with this standard. Check and see. All right, there we go. So I have 10. So then once you have chosen your questions, then you've got to choose how many would be mastered. I kind of go off just our score of 85% or above is mastered, so that's going to be 9 questions for mastered. On track, I try to go on that 75, so I'm actually going to give 7 on track and approaching 5. Anything below that would be below basic. So I'm going to create that assessment. Okay, so it'll show up like this in Mastery Tracker, because that's the standard I've selected. So then if you go back up to modules, and so you'll see where I gave them the benchmark review actually yesterday. If you want to add this assessment to your Canvas page, if you go to the plus button and create assignment, because you created this through Mastery Connect through Canvas, it will pop up right there. So I just have to select that, and it automatically adds it as an assignment. So students just have to go to your Canvas page and you create an assignment and they click it. And once they finish it, you click on Mastery Tracker, and here are the standards that I've assessed so far using Mastery Tracker, and it'll tell you their score and whether they're on track, mastered, approaching, or below. I use this in science too. That's where I have students take most of their assessments, just so they can see those questions. So you can see the standards that I've assessed so far. And actually, so this was a new standard. This was a review standard. So we've got quite a ways to go with science there, but that helps me see where we are falling with those type questions. So I just wanted to make a video of this so that you could go back to it and see how you can use Mastery Tracker within Canvas to assess multiple standards or single standards, and how you can use it daily or weekly. All right, let me know if you have any questions, guys. Thank you.